Okay, good. I think we can start. Good afternoon, good morning in Brazil, good evening in Asia. We have some friends connected. I'm Luca Rossato. I'm professor at the University of Ferrara, the Department of Architecture, and today I'm in charge of the coordination of this webinar. The webinar was conceived by the Excellence Lab SICCEC, the Sustainable Innovation in Cultural and Creative Industries Sector and Ecosystems at the Pegaso Digital University. Um, the partners of this idea are the ISHEC Brussels Management School, the UIC International University of Catalonia in Barcelona, and inside Modern Heritage Network. So first of all, I'd like to share with you our path. This is a cycle of webinar. The first one was held in the 27th of March, coordinated by the ISHEC with the title Cultural and Creative Sectors Competitiveness versus Ecosystem Partnerships. Today, we're going to have the digitization of cultural heritage in Brazil, a challenge between affordability and awareness. In May, we will have on the 29th, exploring the tensions between sustainability narratives and the concept of artistic freedom, organized by the International University of Catalonia. And then the last one that will be on site and online as well, organized in cooperation with the Civita Association. In this case, the organizer is Pegaso Digital University. So as you can see, it's a path along the which we are gonna share some thought about cultural and creative sectors, innovation. We are gonna speak about the role also of culture in a sustainable way. I'd like to thank the scientific committee, my colleagues Elena Borin, Marta Crispi, Christian Host, Christophe Pazur, Ruba Saleh, and Alfredo Valeri. Also, a special thanks to the organizing committee, Karen Eladad, Daniele Giordino, and Martina Mando, who worked a lot for the success of this cycle of webinar. So today, the Inside Network is hosting this event. A few words about our network. It's an international network for studies, investigations, documentation, and enhancement of modern heritage based at the University of Ferrara. We are almost 30 international members that share the same interest in the preservation and valorization, management, documentation of modernist heritage at the worldwide level. Um, so we organize activities, events, we share research and publication. On our website, you can find some information about us and download also some publication. You can also join us if you share the same interest in modernist architecture applying online. So the idea today was to put on the table different ingredients. We are going to have the point of view of an academic researcher, Renata Campiotto, from São Paulo. And then we're going to have Leandro Giglioli, which is CEO of at least two or three, I think, companies dealing with the digitization of cultural heritage based in Curitiba, in the southern part of Brazil. And then after academic level, private level, Mariana de Souza Rolim, who is the vice president of the CONDEFAT, which is the body that protects cultural heritage in the state of São Paulo. So the public point view of the digitization of cultural heritage issue in Brazil. I decided to title this webinar as the digitization as a challenge between affordability and awareness. I hope that you can enjoy these three presentation, as in my opinion, they are gonna to share with us very interesting subject case studies, and I hope after the presentation we will have also the chance to exchange some thoughts about the what was discussed. So please, if you have any question, you can both intervene online or write in the chat. I don't want to steal more time, so I leave the floor to Renata Cimacampiotto, and please, Renata, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Luca. I will just share the presentation. Okay. So good morning or good afternoon, good evening to all. It's a pleasure to join you today. And I would like to thank Professor Luca Rosato and all the organizing team, the scientific committee, for the invitation. My name is Renata Campiotto, and today I will present a reflection on the academic collaborations, technical exchanges, and pedagogical experiences developed between the School of Architecture and Urbanism at the University of of São Paulo, and the Department of Architecture of the University of Ferrara, so the FAUSP and UNIFE. I will also talk about the opportunities for knowledge enhancement and the strengthening of international research networks through the training programs offered by the ICOMOS committee, the SIPA heritage documentation. So I will begin with a brief overview of the context of cooperation between FAO and DIAPREM, is a departmental center of UNIFE, and some of the joint works on heritage digitization that have been carried out since 2015. So this cooperation has its origins since 2005 within the framework of international academic networks, but it was formally consolidated in 2015 through an academic cooperation agreement between DIAPREM and the Center of Preservation Center, Cultural Preservation Center of the University of São Paulo, CPC. This agreement has paved the way for many other collaborative projects, also training activities, and later dual PhD degree agreement, which has been active since 2018. And one of the key aspects of this partnership is the mutual exchange of knowledge through training and dissemination. So as you can see here, training internships took place in São Paulo and also in Ferrara for many years. And also these hands-on experiences were very important for both institutions, so they could develop local teams and also consolidate shared methodology for heritage documentation procedures specifically. So here I have also listed some of the presentation titles from seminars and scientific events that were held in São Paulo, which included the participation of researchers from UNIFE. And with this, I hope to demonstrate that these various approaches and focal points that were addressed over the years were possible to foster debates on broader scales. Besides the specific case studies, the discussions were much broader. So let's now take a look at two of the major projects that exemplify this collaboration. The first one took place at the Vila Nova Artigas building, is the building you can see in the image to the left on the screen. This is the headquarters of the School of Architecture and Urbanism of the University of São Paulo. And this project was supported by the Getty Foundation's Keeping It Modern program, which aimed to provide subsidies for the development of a conservation management plan. So in this case, the work was structured in three main tasks, which were the first one, which focused on the building's trajectory over time, the perceived values, and the elaboration of guidelines for future interventions. The other two tasks focused on exposed reinforced concrete structures that had undergone interventions recently, so the roof and the blind facades. In addition to obtaining an in-depth understanding of the geometry of these elements, it was necessary to assess their performance, to identify the degradation agents, and to determine conservative actions. So the project involved a multidisciplinary team of researchers, including engineers, chemists, geologists, architects, and surveyors from multiple institutions, as you can see here. And it's important to highlight also that these collaborations allowed for a truly integrated approach by combining physical, chemical analysis, for example, with digital models and metric data. Here we can see some of the issues the building faced for many decades, such as the carbonation on the roof, as you can see in the first image to the left, and also loss of the reinforcement cover on the blind facades, as you can see down the left as well, which led to the intervention that was completed 10 years ago that aimed at addressing these problems through a comprehensive repairs in the affected areas. In addition to understanding the effects of this last intervention, this project also addressed the transformation of the building spaces, mapping new demands and also new uses for a school that operates in the 21st century. So the questions to be answered were, what changed and how did these changes take place over time? So the survey methodology was centered on the application of 3D laser scanning to document and to monitor the building's condition. It was not limited to simple recording. It served as a tool for critical interpretation. And the survey was carried out by the research team from the University of Ferrara, DIAPREM, and provided extensive training for the entire local team. So from basic concepts on the methodological principles of scanning to operation, planning, to data processing and results exportation. So here you can see the point cloud from the survey, which specifically focus on the high resolution recording of the building facades. Something that was absolutely essential for this project, so we could analyze and interpret the results of the last intervention, and also including and quantifying the repairs, because we didn't have that information prior to this survey. Here are a few more pictures from the training phase and some of the outcomes now with the processed point cloud. And it's important to note that the goal was to give the local team autonomy to handle the point cloud. So a topic that was widely discussed, it was during the training sessions held in São Paulo, was how to interrogate the point cloud, how to extract relevant information, so we could support many interpretation of this data. So here we can see the quantification of the mortar repairs that, as I mentioned, had been carried out. The intervention was carried out recently, but there was no project or mapping of the original material that was replaced. So through the scanning process, it became possible to locate, to identify, and even monitor these repairs over time. And this is done through a careful reading of the data. in a qualitative manner, a topic that was again discussed many times during these training sessions. Other important outcome includes the publication that were jointly produced by the researchers from both institutions, which showcase the results of this collaboration. So moving on to the second project that illustrates this academic collaboration between the institutions, we have a particular case, which is the Museu do Ipiranga, or Ipiranga Museum. And this time, the survey was driven by different needs. It aimed at supporting the restoration and expansion projects of the museum, which had been closed to the public in 2013 due to its poor state of conservation, as you can see in these pictures. And we can see that this survey posed additional challenges because although the building was closer to the public, it was still occupied by the collection, which was in process of being relocated. But in addition to that, a structural diagnosis was underway with numerous inspections, openings, containment structures, which made the data capture more difficult. So the discussions during this local teams training was focused precisely on how to address these issues through proper survey planning. Here we have the visualization of the point cloud processed by the team from Ferrara, along with some sections and slices of the point cloud. You can see the entire building because this time the carried out survey included interior and exterior areas, roofs, and part of the immediate surroundings. And later, the survey was expanded to include also the gardens and the monumental axis of this part of the city, and resulted in the largest laser scanning dataset ever produced in Brazil. So I would like to mention also that the unique aspect of this project, which was the training of the team of architects who would be in charge of the restoration and expansion design of the museum. So Diaprem offered a workshop in Ferrara where we went through the steps for data extraction and processing, and focused specifically on updating the drawing bases to a level of quality that would be enough for the executive project. And similarly, in training sessions held later in São Paulo, the research group of the University of São Paulo went through new phases of learning, questioning the point cloud, and exploring different possibilities for data visualization, considering integrated diagnosis of the building surfaces, as you can see in the images, these colored images to the right. This also resulted in a series of publications with different approaches, as for example, this one regarding the training itself and the relevance of academic cooperation between institutions, as well as the methodological reflection on the application of laser scanning and the contribution to a detailed understanding of the building based on the results obtained from the survey. So to conclude this case, I would like to mention also the digital platform was also created, the ipirangadigital.org, where it's possible to access these articles as well as view other outcomes resulting from this survey, such as HBIM models created within the scope of undergraduate courses in the course of architecture in Ferrara. And finally, I would like to share a recent experience that I had the opportunity to participate in, which I believe is highly relevant when we consider the possibilities for learning and training professionals in the field of documentation and digitalization. The SIPA Heritage Documentation is a committee of ICOMOS, and it brings together experts in heritage recording technologies and also promotes the development of standardized methodologies. So Every 2 years they have the symposium. This year it will happen in South Korea. But back then, in March 2023, I had the opportunity to participate in the Spring School organized by SIPA in Montecatini Terme, in Italy as well, in collaboration with other institutions, which had as theme the 3D surveying and modeling of cultural heritage. And one of the standout aspects of an event like this is precisely the opportunity to meet professionals from different parts of the world and various fields of application of this technology. It allows for a unique exchange. So, not to mention the top quality of the learning provided by the expert members. So during the course, we had different lessons, and we could see different methods for integrating survey, such as combining topography, direct measurements, scanning, photogrammetry, remote sensing, and others. And even though I had participated in previous training sessions, this time I was able to engage in other discussions which were complementary, related to different data acquisition methods, such as terrestrial photogrammetry. And this is a part of the final presentation made by working groups, where we compared the results obtained by different participants and analyzed ways to correct and to improve the products, whether through the equipment used or the chosen framework. And here are some more results from the comparison between the confidence of the models that were created using different techniques. The discussions during the spring school were very enriching and, of course, allowed for significant collaborative exchanges. Since then, I've joined the SIPA Emerging Professionals group, where we carry out a series of activities such as research, project dissemination, training, scientific meetings. And just to conclude, I don't want to take much time because we have other presentations, but I said some of the final thoughts and considerations. And the reflection that I wanted to bring after all this presentation and these thoughts is that these cooperative experiences, specifically between FAO and UNIFE, they have demonstrated the value of integrating advanced technologies, but the important aspect of them were the critical and reflective practices that underline the importance of academic network, so we can create opportunities for learning and innovation, and especially in culturally diverse contexts like Brazil. So we had these two main projects that we had to train local teams so we could do the work, and we didn't have time, of course, to practice different methods. We have to deliver the products. It was a great exchange. And so we have a deeply pedagogical aspect. It's not about only the training, but also forming a future generation of professionals who are not only skilled in using tools, but who understand the cultural, historical, social layers of the heritage they are documenting. These are integrated projects. This is also very much present in SIPA initiatives, even though they have not so much time for the training sessions. But overall, I consider these partnerships as a possibility to provide fertile ground for future developments. We can reaffirm our commitment to interdisciplinary collaboration. We can have open access to data, create international networks and cooperation. And that's it. Once again, thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm available.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Renata. Thanks also for keeping the presentation within 20 minutes, so we can have more space for the other two speakers. I will leave the questions at the end, so we can have a small roundtable hopefully. I'd like to say that for me it's a pleasure to see that when I met you the first time, you were just a recently graduated student
Yes.
with a strong interest in technology. And after years, I see that you are a researcher and uh, you know the technology, you are able to deal with it. And I'm happy because I think the role of our academic institutions is exactly this, to foster, to as a lighter some fires, big fires like you,
Mm.
able to burn and to disseminate a kind of methodology to preserve our cultural heritage. So I'm very happy that you are here with us today. So
Thank you.
I will jump to the next speaker, Leandro Giglioli from Curitiba. Uh, let's see this different approach from a private uh, company. And so, Leandro, please, the stage is yours.
So
Thank you.
I'll share the presentation.
Thank you.
Just a minute. A minute. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So just a minute. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, first, my name is Leandro Giglioli. I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to speak today. My English is not so good as the Roberta, uh, but I'll try to show you another perspective from uh, a private perspective in Brazil. Uh, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm an architect with a degree from Curitiba and Italy University of Ferrara. My expertise is heritage, restoration, and I have a master sustainability also in Ferrara and here in UTFPR, a Federal University of Paraná. Here in Brazil, I'm a collaborator with Diaprim, together with Luca. We try to do some works, and when I am in Italy, I fell in love with this kind of technology, this laser scanning, point cloud, and my dream was bring to Brazil this kind of technology to work with. In 2007, I opened the first studio called Art Maggiore. Here, I show a little bit of my history. The Art Maggiore was a studio uh, just to do projects of historical heritage, and we worked that 2007 until 2018 strictly with projects of the heritage, historical heritage. And in 2018, we could buy a laser scanner here in Brazil, and we start this kind of technology to do for the start for the patrimony, not for the not for the technology by himself itself, but for the to using the historical heritage. But we see that is bigger than just to historical heritage. Then I founded the Amitech. Is was a startup specialized to point cloud and beam, and we follow the development of this kind of technology in Brazil. So we came together with the development of the laws, together with the beam technology. Today, we founded it together Ambin, that is a representation of ACA softwares. Then, with the three uh, studios, we became one because we have now what we call it integrated solution. We give to the market uh, the the scannation, the laser, sorry, the point clouds, the uh, sorry, we have an integrated technology that gives from the start, from the beginning, from the laser scanning until the digital twin. We have these parts that we give to the market, the scanning, the point cloud, the Bing project, the collaboration with the softwares, and the digital twin. We have the all process because we see that in Brazil the things are separate, and we will have a big problem to do this separate. So now we call AmiHub. You offer an end-to-end service, né? From reality capture all the way delivering digital AmiHub twin. Now in Brazil, we are a multidisciplinary hub with more than 20 professionals, including architects, engineers, and interns. Uh, let's see. Yeah. Uh, Here, I want to talk about the Brazil digital construction. From 2028, Brazil is adapting to BIM mandates. The law is already in place, but the adoption is slow because of why this is so slow. We have a lack of knowledge and training. We have a problem to disruption to broke this workflow, this established workflow, methodology that gives profit. Brazil is very traditional in this point to can broke this methodology, this patronized methodology. The companies already have a cost benefit. It's that gives a big profit. So to broke this the state is really difficult. But the law says that until 2028, we have to have a now another way to do the things in construction. Here in Curitiba, let's talk about, let's explain better. So we have a law we have to do, but we don't have the training, we don't have the person, we don't have the incentive, we don't have the, we have a market, industry uh, established, um patronized, and gives a enormous profit with the handwork, the the cost of the handwork. Uh, Besides that, we already do some things that we can consider innovation. That's why we Luca invited us here. This is similar of the youth. Is a building of Curitiba. Here is a Legislative Assembly building. Is a brutalist landmark in Curitiba. The tiles were peeling off of facade. We use laser scanner. We use laser scanner to mapping all this. We could do a, a very specific uh, analysis and diagnostic of the points of the we have problems, stains. We have stains. We have the problem of the fall off of the facade, loss of tile. So we have all this diagnostic. This building was restored. Now we found a place here near to Curitiba to do these tiles, and uh, was located where we redoing input, and now is restored like as a original with more precision. Here is a case. So in Curitiba is a bridge, is a English type bridge, is one of the kind here in Brazil. There's no more. I think it's the only one in Brazil with this kind of extrature. And we did the point cloud, and we did the modeling with the beam. I have here. Let me see if you can know. Uh, all the bridge is the modeling in the beam, so we can do a lot of uh, information. We have the informations in the beam, like all the woods, all the dots, all the we have all information. This is one of the first in Curitiba that we have this kind of information in the modeling building. Yeah. This is a interesting story. Is a painting of a famous artist here in Curitiba, Paraná, in the region, called Poti Lazarotto. Was discovered in the garage in a building. The construction would like to put down because no one knows about this. We discovered that have this picture, so the government asked us to go there and capture and in a certain way preserve the memory of this picture. Seems that we kind of the engineer construction will use to in this imprint in this work. This building, this house will be a building. So the first fall was put down, put down. Now they incorporate with the new building this picture. Sorry, but I think I made me understand. I'm a little bit nervous. This is so mosaic panel, also from this artist, Pucci Lazarotto. Uh, we also scan it and make a diagnostic with the piece that fall down. And so we have this. I'm very proud of this kind of product. This kind of, because is a thing that I learned in Ferrara, that is the preservation of digital memory. Is for me is very important to like things like this. This is a building on 15th Street. Is a Pedronal Street here in Curitiba, where I put this just to show you the kind of architecture that we have here. Is a eclectic architecture from the beginning of the 20th century. Uh, this we do a lot. This kind of building. In Curitiba, we have a strong problem with the abandoned of this kind of house. The center of Curitiba is strictly commercial, so at the night we don't have more use. But the legislation the legislation the legislation have a kind of punition that is a payment for the abandoned. So there is a lot of owners that for don't pay this kind of punishment, they have to do the restoration. So this is a thing that we have a little bit of demand. This is a different kind of project. Is an industrial project. Left this that we left this chimney of industrial, just a chimney, and is in a condominium residence, and the bricks fall out. So we have to do the scanning, the diagnostic, and then make the project to stop this. This is in a historical city here near to Curitiba, Paranaguá. Is the city where have a lot of history. Is the 17th century. From Brazil is a lot of history that we have to do. So also the scanning, the project, the model, we do a very precise diagnostic to do a better work before in the project. This is also in Curitiba. Is a mapping of these tiles. We're mapping a total of 5,000, almost 6,000 tiles, and we found also a industry to do every tile and make the substitution. It was a very different job too. Here in Foz do Iguaçu, we know, you know, from Cataratas, is a building that is not. I put this because it's a building is not too old, but have a memory. It was transformed with a retrofit, was transformed in a museum for the city. Also in Beam, we already did the Beam. At last, I put this is a project that we do also in a historical city near to Curitiba, and we did all the survey, all the scan, all the project, all in HBIM. né? We did the HBeam, is one of the first projects in HBeam that we see in Brazil. I saw some, but is a innovation. Uh, for uh, final thoughts, Brazil have a historical age, uh, enormous historical heritage, is a source of opportunities. I think the main obstacles are a societal apathy toward the preservation, uh, um, a limited government funding, that don't have how to do these things, the incentive of restoration. Uh, for the private sector, despite the challenge, uh, is a good place, a good market. I think we have a lot of things to do yet. There's so many to grow, so many to do. And about the laser scanner, uh, we did here in Brazil, in Curitiba, a modern heritage. The university, the Federal University, from biological teach, have a 31,000 square meters. Is a point cloud of more than 6,000 points. I think we did the big. I saw that Renata said that the Ipiranga Museum was on the big, but we did a bigger yet. Was a work of 6 months. I'm sorry, my English. I finished here. I'm sorry, my English. I a little bit nervous. I never did it. A talk in English. I speak better in Italian, but I open to asks and here to any questions.
Thank you very much, Leandro. Was very clear. Congratulations for your hard work. I know that you really push a big effort for building these companies. I follow you, in these years, and so I know that also the quality of your work is very high. Thanks for keeping the time also for 20 minutes, so we can go ahead with Mariana Rolim, the Vice President of the CONDEFAT, so public body, public point of view, but also Mariana knows very well the private world and the academic, because she was a university teacher. She holds a PhD. I don't know if she's teaching at the moment. So more or less, she represents the three worlds together. So Mariana, please, stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luca. And thank you, Luca, and to all the committee for the invitation to be here. It's really a very nice experience. And also to be here with two Brazilian colleagues so that we can see the differences of our daily work regarding preservation of heritage. I must say I'm a bit jealous because you guys get to do so many things, and we, unfortunately, inside the government, we don't always have the resources for this. But this is something I will talk about. And let me see if I can put the presentation here. Okay, I think you can see this, right?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. So, and I will try not to uh, go over the 20 minutes I have. So the idea here is to talk today a little about the work we've been doing here in São Paulo and uh, the state of art, let's say, of the work we have towards documentation and laser scanning and all this kind of digital world, and its challenges, of course. So I divided my presentation in three parts. The first one, I'll give a very brief historical about heritage protection here in São Paulo. Then I will go to public policies regarding technology, how it relates or it doesn't relate, but we'll see that. And some of the challenges to really incorporate the digital world in heritage preservation. So to start with, for those who are not familiar with our preservation structure, we have three levels of government that can have some kind of legal protection and legal recognition of historical heritage or cultural heritage. So, in federal level, we have the fund that was created in 1937. It's the National Institute of Historical and Artistic Heritage. In São Paulo, we have since 1968 the CONDEFAT, that stands for Council for the Defense of Historical, Archaeological, Artistic, and Touristic Heritage of São Paulo State. And I put here 1984, it was created the first municipal council for heritage preservation that was in the city of São José dos Campos. Luca, I believe you remember the city because with the apprentice you were there, and
Yes.
and it was the first city to have a legislation for heritage preservation. So, in this structure, we in each level we have some responsibilities, but in the state level mainly we have recognition for throughout the state. And one important thing for you to know is that
Ariana,
in
sorry, are you
Brazil,
changing the slides or?
no, 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 no,
Okay,
I
okay,
didn't.
no, because I sorry.
No, 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 no. It's here.
I thought it was frozen. Okay, no worries.
No, no. In the state of in Brazil, all the states are obliged to have a state council for defense of historic heritage, but it doesn't happen in the city level. So. In São Paulo, we have 45 cities, and only 90 of them have legal instruments for heritage preservation. So, in the state, we have also the responsibility for this city who doesn't have any kind of instruments or any other tools for this. So, some years for you to understand how we get here. So, in 1968, we created the CONDEFAT. In 1974, it's an important year for us because we had this course. So, CONDEFAT, FAM, and FAUSP here, Renata. This course was really important because it was a moment where we really changed how we used to see what heritage is. Because since since the creation of IFA, the idea of heritage was very connected to the period from the Portuguese here and then with the modernists. But the part in the middle, it was left apart. And for São Paulo, it was really a problem because it's where you have the growth of the state, mainly with industries and railways. And so it was a moment to change this vision of what would be the heritage of São Paulo. Then in 1988, we have a new federal constitution, and it's important because it has a definition of what is Brazilian cultural heritage, and it also allowed to create some other structures and some other agencies for heritage preservation. Then in 2000, we had a decree, federal decree, creating the National Intangible Heritage Program. Since 2000, from 2000, we did not speak about intangible heritage in a way of how to preserve it. Of course, we had several things going around this issue, but it's only 2000 where we started to really study it and imagine plans for how we could preserve this heritage. 2006, it's an important year for São Paulo because we have a really big new structure here in the state government that included CONDEFAT and its technical body. And it's important because from this year, we could get a staff that is related only to the issues of heritage. And this is important so that we can have some kind of continuity on the works that we're being doing. And 2023, we had another important moment, that it was the creation of the state cultural heritage system, and it's really a way of manage the heritage in partnership. So we now have legally some spaces where we can have partnerships with the university, but also with other agencies or architects who are out there doing projects, and it's really, we hope it will be a good thing. So for you to understand what is the São Paulo heritage, some of the things we have protected here, and this is our state. So starting to talk about technology. For you to understand, São Paulo from north to south is about 600 kilometers, from east to west, 900 kilometers, 46 million people in the state. So it's a huge area to cover. And a problem that we have since 2000, well, since the creation actually of CONDEFAT, and it was solved only 10 years ago, it was to understand really where this heritage is, because we didn't have a database that could join everything together. So this is a brand new database that was just released 2 months ago. And now we have geographic information about what is protected in the state and what kind of heritage are we talking about. It seems very simple, but it was not at all simple to do it. But we are already started to feel the changes about this, because we have several cities, mainly in the West, that are starting to discover that they have things that are protected there. So when you think about heritage management, the first thing people have to know is to know that that thing is protected, right? Because if they don't know that their city historical center is protected, how will they be able to do something like this? And yes, it seems, but how it can't happen, or how it would happen, but it's a common scenario in Brazil, this lack of information to the government that is local, and it's in the end responsible for the preservation of its heritage. And we also manage to, we don't have this only geographically, but we also have some information about which heritage are we talking about. So this is our database that it's very simple yet, but we already get to know some things such as how many buildings are protected and what kind of buildings. So in the list at the right, we have residential, religious, railway, heritage, and all these kind of things. So now we can know this, and it is very important so that we can develop public policies that are really right for the problem that we have. And so this is what in the state we have. And I will start to the last part of the presentation, talking a little about the challenges that we have to really go into the digital area. And the photo I put here, it shows the first challenge we have. That is that most of the things we still have here is in paper, right? So this is a photograph of a building that is protected, and we have a large room with our archives here, and it's all in paper. So it is one first issue that we are starting to deal with, and as you can see, it's been already been digitized, and we are starting to
Mariana,
push this
I think
process.
I'm not seeing the presentation actually. I don't know if the others are seeing I'm still at the first slide. I don't know
What?
if you didn't share properly
No,
the screen, but I
really?
see the pointer, but at the first slide. Try
No.
to
No, I changed it
ah
a
uh,
lot.
try
Where?
to
Yes.
reshare probably. Okay, now I see.
Yes.
Now I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but let me stop this. Let me
It was frozen, I think.
let me try another archive. Let me try my screen so that this way I will know it will be correct.
Okay, try to enlarge the screen, full screen. Okay, try to move. Okay,
So you
now we
were
see.
here.
Yes, I guess.
Oh God. So, just for you to understand, let me put this
Okay,
aside. This was the years I was talking about, and it will be
okay.
easier for you to read because, well, my English is not the best. Some of the pictures I talked about. This is the state of São Paulo, so you get to know it. And with the listed buildings and other sites we have, this is the database we have today, and I believe I was here. Yes, talking about the challenges, and what I was talking about is really about this picture, right? That shows one of the first challenge maybe we have. But I put over here the two words that are in the name of this webinar, because I believe these really are the challenges when we talk about public policies. Affordability and awareness. Affordability because when we talk, for instance, about software and hardware, this is really a big issue for us. So I was telling you that we have lots of things in paper, still in paper, and one of the problems we have to solve this is not the first part of the project, because where you can digitize all this stuff. Uh, the problem is what we do after with this. In Condefatti, we already did, I believe, 3 times projects in partnership with universities to get all our archives digital. But we start, the university can do the parts that they can do, but when it comes to the government, where we have to have people who know how to use stuff, where we have to have the computers, this become really an issue. Uh, in this aspect, the pandemics really helped us because we had to go digital. And at least here in the state of São Paulo, we can say that now it's something that everyone is aware of this need, and that they are putting money on this. So it's a part. And when I put here the word awareness, I was thinking not of about this, but mainly about something that Leandro said before. That is how society sees heritage in Brazil. So there are some parts of the state of São Paulo, mainly small cities, where heritage is still seen as something monumental. So when you talk about Museu do Ipiranga that Renata showed, it's very easy to understand that that is a heritage that has to be taken care of. But when we are talking about industrial heritage or smaller heritage, such as a historical center, it's more difficult. So we must do an educational work to get to this. And so, as challenges for the government, I put these three issues: software and hardware. I already talked about it. Technical staff, mainly in small cities. It's very difficult because normally you have one engineer and one architect that have to do everything in the city. And we don't have a culture of planning stuff. So thinking about conservation plans or guidelines, it's not something that is very common. So I'll show three projects that are going on today that can solve some of these challenges. The first one regards conservation plans, and this is something that the heritage agencies in São Paulo they are doing. I believe that uh, from 10 years from now, every project that we received here, we ask also for a conservation plan. And this is now starting to show some results. So here I have some pictures of a training that was held in a museum. There is a science museum, this museum here. It's very nice in São Paulo. And they were doing a training for their staff that works with conservation, not only of the building, but also of the pieces that are shown there. So we are now starting to see some difference, mainly in big buildings, such as museums or such as buildings where you have governmental bodies. Another thing that we are seeing, and this I see on my daily work, is that even in smaller projects, people are starting to use laser scanning or photogrammetry mainly. For us, it's easier, and this is very nice because we are starting to get a lot of information about the built heritage we have. The challenge remains how we can integrate these databases, right? Because these two projects, one is in the city of Marília, the other in city of Santo André. They are not very big cities, so even there they are starting to use this technology. And for us, this is good. And now we are starting to debate inside Condefat how we can uh, put everything together in order to, I don't know, in 2030, when someone needs to do a project in one of these buildings, they will have access to this material. Also regarding laser scanning and documentation, I put here two moments. This one was a project made with the city of São Paulo and DIAPRE regarding the scanning of Lago da Memória. That is a very important urban place in the city, but unfortunately, mainly because of the problems of software and hardware and technical training for the staff of the city. It remained there in a computer, so the city has all this data, but they really don't know what to do with this. So now, 10 years from from that project, we're starting another one in the city of Amparo. That is a smaller city, but also in partnership with Diapren and with Unicamp. And we are not only going to make the laser scanning of the whole city center, that is a historical center protected by Condefat, but we are also started to think about methodologies of how we can update these databases, uh, considering the reality that we have inside the government. So it's a project that is starting now, and I hope that in 2 years we'll have good results to show you. And to finish, I will finish with this photo that is the Museum of Portuguese Language, and I saw that we had a question about art and how laser scanning can help this. Um, we are starting now in the museum a project regarding indigenous languages. I believe you saw what happened about 5 or 6 years ago in Rio de Janeiro, the National Museum that had a really big fire. And unfortunately, there we lost lots of records of indigenous languages, and some of them are lost for good, unfortunately. And so we're starting now in the Museum of Portuguese Language a project to have a really big database of indigenous languages so that we can think about preserving this heritage, this intangible heritage, in a digital way. And we are already thinking about this for urban art also, because it's something that is really important here in São Paulo. But it's an issue because it's meant not to last. So how we can preserve this, and we are also considering databases for this. And that's it. My email is here. If I can help you in any way, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mariana. It was very nice. I think you touched an important issue also for us in our experience in Brazil, but not only in Brazil, also in Italy. So the difficulties that the so-called client to manage the data. So many times we faced this issue. So we delivered the digitization data, and then municipalities, institutions, public and private, can't use the data because softwares are expensive, um, or the staff is not trained. So in this direction, I think the open source softwares are helping a lot. So these data now are visible in open source software that are for free, and I think this will improve a lot the knowledge on this on all the possibilities that these technologies can bring on the table for the conservation and for cultural heritage. Thank you very much for your speech. And I see the question. I don't know for who. Aisha asked. I have a question related to the use of digital technologies for art. Is it useful to use these technologies for the digitization of modern art, such as murales? I don't know if some of you, I don't know, Renata, I think spent a lot of time on field with Chipa. I don't know if you had the chance to also explore this field, Renata.
Yes. So yeah, of course, during these trainings, we always have time to experiment and explore the resources, technologies. So one thing that we did during the last spring school was to document through photogrammetry one of the paintings on the ceiling of this very big ceremonial room. So it was not only with photogrammetry, we also tested with laser scanning, so we could compare the results. So I think, of course, they are very interesting methods to see how we can approach different objects, and they are all very resourceful. We can explore them and we can analyze between them which one could be more useful. And
If you
as
can add
Leandro
something, I think that the integration of technology in the
yes,
case of contemporary art is very useful, because you can integrate photogrammetry, but also laser scanning to have not only a good resolution, a good image, but the morphological data of the metric data about the object. So the real size, the real dimension of each part of the art. The
exactly.
piece of art.
You can increase the level of confidence of the data by integrating them.
Yeah. I don't know if someone has uh, questions.
I
I had
believe
a question.
Elena.
Yep.
I believe
Elena,
Elena has
Elena,
raised.
please.
Sorry. The truth is, I really have a lot of questions for all the speakers, for all our presenters. So thank you so much for the interesting presentations. I'm really fascinated by what you are doing, the three of you, and really I would like to know more about you. Maybe we can get in touch also later. So I have a question which is transversal actually to the three presentations. I'm not an architect. I'm working in reporting and accounting, so my perspective is more related to management and financing also of this initiative. And what I was, what really, attracted my attention in the three presentation is this concept of disruption that Leandro was presenting, disruption of workflows, methodologies, problem of knowledge and skills. Mariana was talking about affordability and awareness. So, in my opinion, this is also a problem of management. So, how can we better manage all these disruption, all these technologies, to increase awareness, but also to ensure the financial and economic sustainability of the different initiatives that you presented. So, I was wondering, especially in the case maybe of Leandro and Mariana, how were you able to to deal with this challenge? So did you, for example, increase the partnership with universities or with training centers? Were you exploring some partnership with different private company and local stakeholders? Or were you experimenting something innovative like crowdfunding or initiative for collecting funds from the citizens or the communities that were involved by these different interventions?
I can I can I can talk for myself. It's very difficult. it's it's terrible.
I
I
know.
was I was talking with Luca last time that he was in Brazil. It's so difficult because first for the people here in the studio we have 20 architects, all my students. Oh,
Okay.
or actual students or already laureate students. So we pick this for the money is my experience. I cannot reach a public or financial is very, very, very difficult. Is my bigger problem because how we speak earlier with Mariana, how can I say licitations, bid. It's so difficult because we have a lot of haciendas that we put the price down,
Yeah.
and technical is not is now very, very difficult to win one of these with a good price, a good that you can do a good work with tranquility. We have always to. So is when the people asks to me how I work, if I work a lot of the public government, I say no. Most of my work is private.
Okay.
Is the people that have how can I say multa in English, Renata? Multa,
Fine,
Fine, fine.
fine.
fine. In Curitiba, we have a lot of fine.
Okay.
The people let the historical buildings abandoned. In 15 years, the municipal, the commune can find is a big fine. It's a big.
Okay.
So the people to not lose the building start to work with the project, and it's part of my job do the commune and say, look, he is started working of restoration. Please stop. Don't put down. Just stop the fine, and you working together. We have a good relationship with
Yes,
municipalities
yes, municipalities,
uh,
yes.
to do this. So it's really, really difficult. This question. When I said that I start up with technology in civil work. Go to angels. Go to government. Go to the. I did a lot of meetings. A lot of meetings. A lot of meetings. I don't know how much to try to give, but it's so difficult in times like today, like this, that the money is not there, it's not here. It's so difficult, so difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
I agree with you. It's very difficult. And yes, we have a culture of fines, let's say. Um, Here in Condefati, our legislation for this, it's from 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And they thought that it would solve all the funding problems, right? So that with the fines, we would have money to make everything all right, but it really didn't happen, and now they are realizing it that it really doesn't work. So we are now changing our legislation for this, and in order to do what's more or less what Leandro was saying, that is, look, we will not we will not apply anything for you, but you have 6 months to start a restoration work, right? And let's see if this works. But we are now very faithful that this heritage system will work, because it really intends to integrate the stakeholders that are related to heritage in any way. From our experience, the partnerships we had with university, and this goes from 1960s, uh, it works very well in the period where the teacher is in that university. But it really doesn't have long-term results. So in the last years, we started to look for architects associations mainly, and for associations of owners of heritage buildings. And this seems to work in a better way. But another thing that was really important is that also in the 5 years, I would say, here in São Paulo, we started to really have money for funding. And it didn't have happened before. Last year, we had a really huge amount of money for restoration works, and people are starting to know that it exists. So we are starting to build a culture for conservation. And this funding today, it's interesting because it focuses on conservation works. So what we are trying to do is to make people understand that you have to conserve and not make a restoration work, because in Brazil it's strange, but it's easier for you to find I don't know 10 million for a restoration work than to find 10,000 to clean your roof, you know. But it's a culture that I don't know where it began, but that's how we are today. One thing that I can say that really changed how the governments are seeing the money they put in restoration works is that uh, a big cultural institute here in São Paulo that is related to a bank. They started to they kind of created an observatory for everything related to culture. And in the last year, they started also to put in this restoration works. And so we are hoping that this will also show everyone that it compensates to put money in this. But it's a long way to go, I would say.
I guess, Mariana, you answered also the questions by Guilherme Mella that wanted to know if the main challenge is in cultural restoration and cultural heritage project restoration, if it's the implementation of technology and training the staff, or cultural issue, not valuing historical
Uh,
heritage. So this is the matter, I think. It's a
that's a
balance.
good question. I would say that the cultural issue is our biggest problem, because technology, we are managing to find a way to do it. And even when we talk about governments that are having really big, great difficulties with being, for instance, uh, the private sector is doing it because they now realize that it's cheaper for you to use this technology.
Mhm.
Uh, but to go to the government side, it will take some years, I believe. But I don't think that this is a major issue. Of course, when you talk about public policies, you have to have data and you have to think about the long term. But well, this is not the main issue here in São Paulo. I believe the problem remains on people think that what new is better.
Mhm.
And so we have, and another thing that is curious, because normally people think that restoration works are very expensive.
Yeah,
And of course, in some cases, it's true. But
but coming
at
up.
least in Sao Paulo, the kind of heritage we have is not that expensive, you know. But it's something that it's not really known to everyone. So we are considering that working with these associations of owners of these historic buildings will be a good way to solve this.
Guilherme was my student. Yeah.
I don't know if Someone else has a question for our three speakers. Thanks, Guilherme, for asking. Um, Before closing, I had a question for basically for Leandro, I guess, because you showed us this slide, no, where you placed the digitization activity, and then the beam modeling, and then the restoration, and so I was curious to know your point of view, no, if this process works well in your opinion, or there are some, or if there are some gaps between one step and another, because in Italy it's very difficult to have a company which scan, model and restore the building. Usually there are two or three different companies that work in this way,
Yeah.
you know, this.
Thank you, Luca. I was talking to Luca when I start here. I have some problem. Then I became a little bit nervous, a little more nervous than normal.
No, don't
Uh,
worry. Yeah.
and I want to show this. I will share the again. Uh, what we do. This question of the Luca is perfect because I started with a studio of architecture that does restoration projects just like that, and also of course the construction. Then I bought the laser scanning. Then I started to work to being in these new technologies. Then I start to teach new process, new methodologies of technology of making projects. The beam, uh, I start to study. Then I reach the ACA building. So I realize that Lucas said, if we do the laser scanning with one company, we do the project with another person. If we do the construction with another person, then the worst we have to do the digital building or the 7D that management, then the management, then the monitorment is impossible because how you do the information goes to the laser scanner to the HB. Uh, the product that we develop is this. The Army Hub is the union of these three companies that do the laser scanning, then do the HB. Now I'll show you like this. Up. Just a minute. Okay, here. Look. So this is the kind of project we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we give this to the client, and we offer a system that we do the management of this kind of product data technology and gave to the municipality, to the construction company, only the information that he needs, not the data. The problem we talked before, that we do this incredible thing. We capture a lot of data and gave to someone that don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the problem.
Yes.
So we deserve this product to say, look, we do the information that you need. We scan, we modeling, we do the management, we teach you some things that is essential that you know, but
Hmm.
we do the hard work.
Yes.
we 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 kept this with us. We created this company for this. So, like this in Paranaguá, we give this, we transform. Now, the next step is transform this in digital twin, put the sensoring in the building, we capture the information of the sensoring, more do the planning of the management, and give to the municipality all the informations ready to do. They don't have to do nothing. Of course, there is a go go back. They ask, we needed that kind, this kind of information. We need this. We need this kind of planification. This kind of, and we give him the censoring the information and giving to him. How you say, Luca? Do this. I think is the biggest challenge of the being of these new technologies in civil in construction is exactly this. How you put this all this together with different partners. For me, it's almost impossible, because also the softwares, you scan in a software, you draw in a software, you model in a software, then you do the 6D in another software, in 7D in another software. Is so the solution that we here in Ami Hub are offering, developing together with ACA,
Yeah.
Software Italiano, is this offering we name it the solution integrated solution, ou solução integrada em português, because
Yeah.
I see, because never was my objective just do the laser scanner, or just do the modeling. My objective was bigger, to
Hmm.
do.
I think that your example is a great case of study of entrepreneurship in digital digitization. No? Actually, you are cultural creative industry because you're working in this world, and you developed your specific skills. So congratulations, because it was very interesting. Now
Thank you.
we are
This
10
is the
minutes
bridge.
late, but I think it was good to share also this approach from a private company.
Yeah.
Thank you
Well,
very much.
I started. I think because this that we developed came with the problem that we said before, that money,
Hmm.
because I could sell just the scanning.
Yeah.
Then I have the scanning. So what do we do? Okay, I'll do the the bin. Okay, I have the bin. Then what we do? Okay, I'll do the 4D. I'll do 5D.
So at the end, you decided to to give
Yeah,
the whole pocket.
yeah.
It, that
It's because
it
of
makes
that.
sense.
Because and it
Yeah.
is clearly, if you think like why I invest in the laser scanning if I can do nothing with this
Hmm.
data?
Hmm.
Why I invest in modeling BIM if I don't know how it
Yeah.
works after? So I became to go further. Uh,
Absolutely.
and now
Yeah.
we sell the digital twin. So if Mariana say to me, we want the digital twin of Museu da Língua Portuguesa, I'll go there, scanning the all process and give it to her
The
digital twin.
final the final product.
Yeah, we are doing this now.
Okay.
Not
Thank
a
you
lot
very
of
much.
process.
We have to close because we are a quarter
Okay,
of an hour late, but I think it was worthy of discussion. I'd like to thank you again, you all the speakers, the committee, the organizing committee also, for this nice, I hope, nice webinar. I want just to remind everyone that we are going to have another seminar on the 29th of May. So we hope you can join us also in this event. And then the last one, the 12th of June. I think that's it. Thank you very much, everyone, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Leandro,
Bye-bye.
Thank
Renato,
you.
Mariana.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.